Good morning, listeners. Welcome into episode 15 of A New Era podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy online, and I'm here today with my dad, the OG Frid. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners this morning?
Yeah, good morning, listeners. Wow. I think this weekend was not overall, with sports, we'll do much of today, I think, is going to be recapping and talking about future with our winter sports playoffs. But two big, impressive events occurred this weekend, right?
Yeah, two prestigious events, I'd say too. The Masters obviously happens every year. We get a UFC pay-per-view event once a month, but there's a difference about this one and this weekend. Yeah, there was a lot of good just sports stuff this weekend. I got an alarm going on my fucking phone still. I don't know how that's a thing. In which you could have just sat on that couch Saturday morning and then just watched Masters all throughout the day and then just rolled into UFC 300 and then you go to sleep, you wake back up, you do the same thing on freaking Sunday. I know that's what I didn't watch as much of Saturday as I wanted to. Yeah. I watched a lot of Thursday. I had that right here when I was working. A lot of Fridays. Saturday I just really didn't watch much of it. I watched a little bit, probably like 3 to 5 before UFC 300 started because the early prelims are at 6 and then just watched all those. But then Sunday, after I got over from the abysmal hangover that was fucking Saturday night.
I was wondering, there was no text, no phone calls, nothing from him.
It wasn't even that bad, but like, I don't know. I was fine. It was just a couple beers, but like, and then I went to bed and slept like a baby. It was great. Then I wake up, I go out there, I'm watching the Masters. It's like 11:30 or something. And then my buddy comes in with Reese around like fucking 1:30 or whatever. And he goes, "Oh, well, you look like shit." And I was like, "Well, I don't fucking feel like it." So that I don't know where that's coming from. But no, it was a good weekend. We'll get into all these events individually throughout this episode. But well, go ahead.
Hey, by the way, did we get any notification from the kid that beat us in the...
I don't think so. I have not seen anything.
All right. Well, make sure you reach out so we can get you your winnings for the NCAA tournament there.
Yeah. All right. So, Masters first. Obviously,
Masters first.
Majority of our episode last weekend was about this. Great tournament, man. And I think we all kind of knew what it was going to come down to. And yesterday morning, I know you had done one with Homa in it. I think Homa to win.
I did.
That sucks. But I did one yesterday. I don't know if you saw it in our DraftKings group. I went Scottie Scheffler to win.
Yeah.
Cam Smith top 10. Aberg top 5. Morikawa top 5. And so that hit. That was a little bit of a sweat. I was making sure because everything was set. Cam Smith was in the 10 already. Aberg was like 2, and he had just finished. And then it just comes down to Morikawa, and he on 18 there went and freaking bogeyed, and it was a tough little bogey. I was like, I could have seen him missing that, and I was like, I swear to God, if he fucking double bogeys his last hole, and then falls into a tie for 6, I'm gonna be so pissed. But he did it. We got out of there. Very good. I think we all knew it was Scottie, but your guy Aberg, man, he was great. I mean, it was fun to watch too this weekend.
It was just, I just kept on thinking. So when we interviewed Chip, we interviewed him in his office at the clubhouse, and I just kept on thinking over and over in my head when we were talking about our picks, and I said Homa, and just the eyes of both you and Chip just like looked at me like, "Are you fucking serious, Homa?"
Well, I
And
like home. I just
but even to show up in this, I mean, he was so the problem that I had, not the problem. I mean, I enjoyed watching him all week. He was within, when he was 7 feet in for pars or birdies for putts. I mean, it was just automatic, just about all tournament long for him. Yes, he took a huge risk and doubled on, what is that, 12? Yeah.
12. Yeah, I'm looking at it here.
Yeah, and that's
you're talking about for round 4 for him, right?
yeah, and that was, I mean, at that period of time, everyone was just it was unreal how everyone was just falling off. I mean, it started with Morikawa's hit into the water, or no, the bunker shot where he flubbed it, went double, then he went into the water. Aberg went into the water.
Yeah, but Aberg, I don't think you can count Aberg in that group. I think out of anybody, Aberg was not one that kind of crumbled at all. I mean, still finishing 7 under. Like, yeah, he had that
yeah,
shot,
but at one point he was tied. He was -8. No, he was -7, but tied with everyone. A shot away from Scheffler, and then
outside of 11,
yeah,
he double bogeyed on 11. Outside of that, every other one, he look at this: birdied 2, birdied 7, birdied 9, birdied 13, birdied 14. So you take away that double bogey,
yep,
even just a par, that's 9 under. Yeah, if he birdies that, that's 10 under. Yeah.
I mean, he could have put on some pressure. As much as we saw people crumble
too.
Yeah, he did. It was also awesome to see a montage of those top 3 having some incredible shots. I mean, Scheffler's approach, where was that, on 10 or 9, 10? I don't remember, but just putting it right over the flag within a foot of the flag, just to, to push himself. Okay, this is my tournament, guys. Aberg had that huge putt. I think that was on 9 or 10. That swooping putt. I think it was 10. Had that swooping putt that was incredible. And then Homa to have that as well on 10. That incredible approach shot just over the pin. But then, yeah, Scottie just said, "This is mine, guys."
It's so cool to see him do it too, and obviously it was close coming into day 4. But yeah, he just doesn't take his foot off the pedal. He was just playing, and then I was just sitting here watching it with my buddy at a certain point. I was like, God, man, he is just so fucking good. Like, he is just outstanding. I can't put it into words. You watch him play, and like, I don't know, it's like everybody's just eyeing and playing for second. Oh my God, yeah, I'm seeing that shot from Homa here. This is the best thing I love about the Masters.com. Afterwards, after the tournament's done, you can go through here and see every shot. That was, holy shit, he just darted that right in there.
Yeah. So I love to, I mean, again, besides watching a tournament, I think you just have the best broadcast. Now, yes, you have Jim Nantz on everything, and Scott Van Pelt with the ESPN coverage in the clubhouse, and Sean McDonough, I think, did a fantastic job on Thursday, Friday, until he went on and did his NHL broadcasting. Vern Lundquist finished off. That's it for Vern. No more. Finishing up on 16 there. It just, you got great. And yes, it's the same guys every week that you hear, but I think they just bring it up a level, a notch. Just talking about this particular event, this once in a lifetime event, if you go and watch. And they were sitting back and just mentioned, I think Jim had mentioned, there are a lot of kids are going to want to try and emulate that how Scottie just hits the ball and just drives. And I was thinking a lot, what if he ever twists that ankle? That footwork he does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a lot of torque on that leading ankle.
Something as simple as a twisted ankle, but we haven't seen it bother him yet.
No. And
even a wife in labor can't keep Scottie from winning the Masters. So it's like, what can we really do here if we're the field? If this guy was literally supposed to almost have a child, then you still can't get him out of Augusta.
No. He is, yeah. I think we're got to be looking at Scottie in this age right now of him and Tiger. I mean, he's just two green jackets in 3 years. Number one player in the world. I think he's already probably got the FedEx Cup locked up at this point right now. Yeah, there's no stopping this guy. It is awesome to watch. Every shot and like Chip was saying, I mean, just placing it where they want to. Yeah, it seems like there's expansive fairways in Augusta just from the coverage, just watching it. I wish we could someday, every day, be able to get there and look at it ourselves. But even if the fairways are large in certain areas, just pinpointing, putting that ball where you need to be. How about some of those drives?
I was just about to say, I'm looking at his stats here from this year. His average driving distance collected on holes 5 and 15. 5 and 15. Why just those ones? I don't know. But one of them is a par 5.
Yeah, I think both are par 5s.
No, 5 is a par 4.
I know 15 is. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 is a par 5. Round you ready? Round 1, average distance 298, the field 293. Round 2, average distance 286, the field 288. It's the only one they beat them. Round 3, average distance 322, the field 300. Round 4, average distance 316, the field 307. I mean, God, man. And he did all of that on round 4, he only hit 64% of fairways.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so nuts.
And the greens, I think he wasn't hitting that many greens at that point as well. On round 4.
He hit 67% on round 4. His worst was round 2. He hit 56. But the field hit 52 in round 2. That was the shittier day, right? Because that was Friday.
Yeah, that was a very, very windy day.
Yeah.
Down there. And yeah.
Yeah. But
both Rory and him both hit, I don't know which hole it was, but both hit the walkway, the patron walkway with drives. I think Rory's registered 390, but it rolled back to be a 330, 340 drive. But Scheffler did the same thing. Yeah, it's playing the course. That's what Chip was saying. Playing the course, knowing what speed slot there is, where to hit it on your drive, and just let that thing just roll.
Yep. Man. It sucks because now it's like it's over, and I know we'll have another major soon enough, but you know, it's the Masters, man, and it was so great to just be able to turn it on at any point throughout the weekend. And there's always golf, you know, so you can turn on the golf for it. But there's something about this. I'm looking at his shots on hole 3 here yesterday, in which he goes straight into a bunker, just fucking right out of the bunker, beautiful. I mean, it's like he never panics.
No,
Nothing.
he is
It's like
so calm.
he could purposely put it into the bunker because he's like, you know what, I like this lay better. Like he just so calm, so collected, and then he knocks it in for a birdie. That's just incredible.
It'll be really cool. And looking at this leaderboard, your top 6 with Bryson, I think he was your only live golfer, right? Oh no, and Cam Smith is a live golfer. He was 6. Yeah. Everybody else. Oh, and Hatton. Sorry, Hatton's was top 9 or top 10. But yeah, it'll be really cool to see. Do some of these guys take the week off? Upcoming is this next tournament this weekend, not so field heavy, or do you take the momentum? How does Aberg continue this? I mean, they're already talking him prodigy.
I hope to see it. I really do. I mean, he played really fucking well. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to find just these knockouts for our next segment here, but a great weekend of golf. A really great weekend of golf. Like we said, I think we knew it was going to be Scottie, but I mean,
did you see the par 3?
No,
on
we talked
Wednesday.
about this. I don't think we did. But you texted me saying, make sure not to take Ricky because he won it.
Yeah. Big story. Gary Woodland, who 7 months ago had brain surgery and ended up hitting a hole in one on par 3. Big
Really?
story.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think DeChambeau's hole in one, but that was the only one I think I saw from him.
That was not a hole in one.
It wasn't?
So he ended up putting the first one in the water. So he dropped. He's hitting 3 and he dunked it on the fly with his third shot.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Still.
But it was a dunk. It was on the fly.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I mean, yeah, you see any of those, it's very impressive. Okay. Well, is that all you got for the Masters here?
Yeah. Just want to see how everyone else responds these next couple weeks. Is it a stepping stone for them or not? Great to see Zalatoris do very well, especially a year ago. He had back surgery. Morikawa's had a iffy year so far, tied for 3rd. See if he continues. Tommy Fleetwood always plays well here, so that's not a surprise, but he haven't heard too much from him this year. Just want to see, does my guy Max Homa, does he take this and continue on a very good run here for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, we'll see how there's not really any like Masters hangover, but we'll see how it affects them and how the level of play goes for the next couple of weeks. All right. Well, moving on from the event you paid the most attention to this weekend to probably the event I paid the most attention to this weekend.
Yes.
UFC 300. Dad, I've been telling you got to get into this because I knew this event was coming up. And boy, was I right. This may have been the greatest night of fights ever. There was so much hype behind this card. But it was going to be very, very hard to live up to it. And somehow it fucking did. Every single fight was incredible. The main card had me jumping around, running laps around my living room with some of these knockouts. I've got 2 of them here from the main card that I'm going to pull up for you and share my screen so you can we can hear your live reaction. All right, give me 1 second here. Let me know. Can you see my screen there?
It says watch stream.
Yeah, watch that real quick. This will be. I want to hear this live. This will be awesome. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
This is Gaethje Holloway. This is for the baddest motherfucker championship. This was the first of the 3 title fights. I don't really consider the BMF title, but after today, I might. You ready?
Yeah.
crumbled.
He's just sitting there. He's boom. Oh, little rib shot. Okay. He's just talking to him. He's like, "You can't beat me."
Yeah.
Oh, that was a punch he took. Miss. Ribs. And then there it is. Oh, and he goes. That was a right hook.
And it's something, dude, Holloway, the one that you were talking about, he was talking. He was telling him, he was like, stand in the center. It's the BMF title. We got 10 seconds left. Let's just go fucking shoot him. He was up in this. I had it scored 3-1 Holloway.
That's what
there
I
was
heard.
Some people that had it 4-0 Holloway. So like, he's going up there. He has nothing to gain by that because he's going to win this fight. And he goes in there to try to just exchange shots with the hardest hitting lightweight and the BMF in this title fight. And I was like, dude, respect to him because he could have fucking died on that one.
Yeah.
Gets that knockout at 4:59.
He took that hit.
He took a couple, and there was one right before he knocked Gaethje out that he was coming and like he would have connected on. And then so here's the main event, Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill. Can you see that too?
Yep. Okay.
All right. So pay attention right here to this kick that's about to happen.
Wasn't there talking with this one too?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Like, so right there.
Oh.
Or no.
Going long, little touch. Just playing around. He's just waiting.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hold on. So here it was. He got kicked in the nuts, like right here. And so then Herb Dean, the ref, comes over to like call it, and he put his hand out. He was like, "No, I'm good. Like, let me go to work." Herb pulls off, and then that's when boom, knockout happens, and just hammer fists knocks him out, and it was incredible. That one, I mean, I hate Jamal Hill, so I was very excited about that knockout. I could show you every single fight. I really could. I could sit here and go through every single highlight, but I won't. But it just those are just two of the biggest knockouts that we saw. There was also another title fight between the women's in which, at the end of the first round, one of the girls was, I swear to God, she was out. Like she was in a choke until the bell rang, and the champion Zhang Weili, she lets go over because the bell just rang, and you just see the opponent's body kind of just fall off for like it's lifeless, and the ref didn't call it, and she got up, she stumbled, they brought her to the corner, they fucking threw some water on her face, put her back out there. Like, it was crazy, and ended up going to decision. She ended up making all the way 5 rounds. But yeah, every single fight is on this card was amazing. Whenever it comes out on, it usually does on like ESPN a couple months after. You'll have to watch the whole card because it was great. I hit some parlays, so that was nice. I missed some parlays too, but it was still all around one of the greatest events I've ever seen. I was talking to my buddies about it, and I was like, dude, like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I've been looking forward to this card for about 3.5 months. Like, all the cards that have come and go in between then, I've been very excited about. But this one, I've been looking forward to this for 3 months. And I was like, I feel like I just peaked as an MMA fan. I don't know what I'm going to do coming forward. But Daddy Dana White made sure to give us some bangers for the next upcoming fights.
And I don't know if you did. I mean, I don't know if somehow, because we've been talking about this, and this is something obviously you're very passionate about, excited to watch, but all of a sudden on my phone, I think it was this morning, I know Google's listening because you end up getting feeds and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're always listening.
Yeah. But I got the Dana White press conference then after, and he was just rolling about how much they made, ticket sales and this and that. And,
oh my God. Yeah. I think it was the highest gate of any event.
Yeah. And then he ends up saying, well, because of those two, the Holloway guy and somebody else with an L.
Oh, with an L.
I thought it's...
I mean, there's Jamal Hill. There was Diego Lopez.
Yes, Lopez, I think it was. He said how that fight was good too, but because of the Holloway, he ended up giving him an extra $600,000 bonus.
Yeah, well, he usually does. Knockouts are $50K bonus, and then all the knockouts can be in the running for finish of the night or fight of the night. He increased on Thursday on the press conference. He increased them all to 300,000 for UFC 300 for knockout bonuses. So, or just for finish bonuses. So that should go to show you there was only 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 13 fights went to decision. And a couple of them definitely could have and should have been called earlier than that. Probably all of them. I think the only one I'm seeing that probably shouldn't have gone or should have gone all the way. Actually, there was 2 of them: Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez, and Calvin Kattar and Aljamain Sterling. The other 3 that went to decision probably should have been called at least once or twice in the fight. But it was great, man. You could tell that just the fighters were so excited to be on this card, and just how historical Saturday night was for the sport of UFC and the massive growth and popularity that they have got over the last, since UFC 200. And then, these bangers are just going to continue. We got freaking one of the biggest superstars in the UFC history, and Conor McGregor is finally making his UFC return in UFC 303.
And can we mention really one quick thing about Conor McGregor, who I absolutely love, but do not listen. People who listen to us, and there are plenty of you, thank you. Do not watch the movie.
That Roadhouse movie was so bad. The movie was so fucking bad. It was funny. Like I'm happy I watched it because it was a funny watch, but it was funny because it was terrible.
It was
like,
and just some of the fucking cinematography was just
the CGI and stuff. When he got hit by the car on the truck, and you just see the car go from 2 miles an hour to 67 miles an hour. Oh my
How
God.
about the boat?
Movie was so bad. The boat was terrible. Yeah, that movie was so shit. But it was funny. It was a funny watch. It was I know this movie's gonna be bad, so let me watch it and laugh at it.
Mom didn't finish it. So then the next day she's like, "Oh, where did I leave off?" And I'm like, "No,
don't worry about it.
Don't worry. It was so
not
bad.
worth it. So shit." I really was expecting a little better, but
and Connor's his character. I mean, he was
just like a coked up freaking grizzly bear.
That man is huge.
Yeah, no wonder why he's going to be fighting this next fight at 170. Whereas, I mean, before that, he had only fought at lightweight at the highest, which is 155. There was talks at first when they were doing, I mean, they've been talking about this Chandler McGregor fight for years. But there was talks at first that he wanted to do 185 because he's been using hella steroids and shit to get back to where he needs to be. But
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So I was again on the feeds watching, and there was some goofball, I forget his name, big yellow glasses. He did a question, and he had asked, I think it was Mo, I don't know. I think it was on my Instagram feed, but he asked Dana White, will they do 165? And Dana said no. So you're at 155 and then you jump all the way up to 170?
Yeah. I mean, I think that was more of a Connor's request than anything, to be honest. I mean, Chandler's also fought at 155, usually at lightweight in that division. That's where Conor was previously. I mean, I never really thought he wanted to jump up, but now they're at the welterweight. And I don't know if Conor is doing this because he doesn't if he wins this and stays around, I don't think he wants to come back to lightweight. I think he's just and he hasn't beat everybody in the division. Yeah. I mean, he'd still have, the Max Holloway now who moved up to lightweight for this fight and can do this as well. He hasn't beaten Gaethje. He has lost 2 straight to Poirier or 3 straight to Poirier. Like, I just don't even think he wants to fucking get back to lightweight because I don't think he sees a world in which he's beating some of these guys. So I think he wants to, use his beefed up size where he's been at this walking around weight for the last 2.5, 3 years and try to fuck around with welterweight, which he might think is potentially a easier division right now. Yeah. I mean, with Leon Edwards as champ. And then outside of that, I mean, you got a Kamaru Usman who's old. You got a Khamzat Chimaev who has a fight booked. Yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. I hope he sticks around. I hope it's not like a one and done and we actually get to see one last run of McGregor, but that's always a wild card, so we'll see. All right. Well, enough about that card. Great one. If you haven't watched it or watched any of the highlights, make sure to go through and watch some of the recaps of those fights because you'll definitely enjoy it. And it's definitely worth your time. And keep an eye out for when that pay-per-view ends up going up on whether it be YouTube, whether it be ESPN Plus, the UFC Fight Pass, whatever it may be. Definitely give it a watch if you got some time. You won't regret that one. So we'll move on to our other Boston teams now. So we've got 2 of them who are literally on the doorstep of the playoffs. We'll talk about the first one whose playoffs are fully set, and that is the Boston Celtics, who finish off the regular season at 64-18, 14 games above the number 2 seed, 37-4 at home, 41-11 in the conference, 27-14 away. I mean, there's so much stuff you could say about this team. But the reason I bring this up, so obviously as the 1 seed, we could get any of the playoff teams or the play-in teams. We'll get the lowest seed of the remaining ones. So obviously let me see the matchups.
So it's the Sixers.
It's on Wednesday. Heat. Yeah, Sixers Heat. And then
Bulls and Hawks.
Okay, so we could get one of the Bulls and the Hawks if they were to come out of it. The Knicks won it.
No. So
yes.
I listened to this, I think, this morning. So
if the Bulls or Hawks make it out of the play-in at all, they go to us.
No.
Whichever is the lowest seed.
I thought what I heard was this. So Sixers, Heat, Bulls, Hawks, the losers of those then play for that final play-in. Is that correct?
It's fuck, I wish I knew how. The winners, so 7-8, whoever wins that, I think, gets in. Yeah. So then whoever loses the 9-10, I think, is out completely. I think then it would be whoever loses 7-8 and whoever wins 9-10 plays, and they get that last slot.
That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking at it here. The Knicks literally are not able to get the Bulls or the Hawks, the 9 or the 10 seed. So if the 9 or the 10 seed get through, we would get them. So out of the 4 teams here, 76ers, Heat, Bulls, Hawks, Dad, which one would you prefer for the first round series for the C's?
Probably the 76ers. I mean, obviously, we already saw us losing the Celtics are on destiny. Look at them, 9 in a row. And then they lose to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which you called.
I did.
And obviously the Heat have always played us. I mean, when the Heat get into the playoffs, they're a different organization. They're a different team. Yes, we've come on top, but it's been a battle. I'm a little worried about that. the Bulls, I wouldn't be worried about as well. But I'm figuring that the 76ers will lose to the Heat, and then you got 76ers against the Hawks, and I'd rather see the 76ers than the Hawks.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Hawks. I'll go through this really quickly though. If we play the Hawks, that's a Celtics 4-2 series win. If we play the Bulls, that's a Celtics 4-1 series win. If we play the Heat, that's a 4-2 series win. If we play the 76ers, it's 4-1. For anybody saying, why would you want the 76ers? They're healthy now. They could be a number 3 seed. We own the 76ers.
Yes.
Those are children. That is like the 76ers to the Celtics or what the Toronto Maple Leafs are to the Bruins in the playoffs. That team will not beat us. That's how it is. I would love to see the 76ers because I fucking hate Philly, and I would love to beat them in the playoffs. I also want to see Miami because I want to beat the shit out of them for what they did to us last year. I really do. I would love to go out and sweep them first round. And I don't think we really need to worry about them like we have in previous years because they are just, I know they got Jimmy Butler and Bam and everything. They are just not good this year, man. They really aren't. I hate the Heat, and I hate Jimmy Butler, and I really don't think they're that good this year. Bulls, I think, are the worst out of these 4 teams, even though they are the 9th seed. And I could legitimately see us sweeping them. I'm pretty sure every time we've played the Bulls this year, we've just run them out of the gym. And then the Hawks have, I think, the sneakiest chance to actually potentially pull us to 7.
Although the Hawks are 15-26 away.
True, but they still would have 3 games home.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'll put it on record saying I personally, if it comes down to, damn it, for the sake of like the easiest series, I want the Bulls. For the sake of the team that I want the most, I want the Heat or the 76ers equally because I hate them equally and I want to beat them equally in the playoffs and end their season. So then I'm not going to go ahead. Actually, we won't run through all this because we don't have the other play-in teams yet. So maybe next week, once we actually have the full first rounds built out, then we'll go through and give our predictions. But as of right now, it says our game 1 against the East number 8 then would be Sunday. It doesn't have a time as of right now. But the East play-in games, 76ers Heat play Wednesday, 7 p.m. Bulls Hawks play 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday. And then they get, 3 or 4 days off until one of those teams would play us. Oh, no, because then they would have to play again Friday. Nice. Yeah. So then they'd have 1 game in between having to play us. So then game 1, Sunday, then what? You probably have game 2, Tuesday,
if not Wednesday.
You have game 3, Friday, game 4, Sunday, game 5, Wednesday, because you give them an extra travel day. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be fine. We'll probably have game 1 done for most of these series by the time we record next week, but we'll be able to talk about the rest of the series. We won't. Hopefully, most of them won't be over by 1 in, you know. But excited for the Celtics. We've been talking about it all year. I
think no matter who they have, game 1 is going to be a convincing because of the amount of games that team has now played with a day of rest and then travel to Boston. I think that's at least
convincing win,
a double-digit win.
Yeah,
I'm looking 15 plus points. Yeah.
And I guarantee you, it depends. If we're getting the 76ers or Heat, yes, we're at home. I bet we'll get spread of Celtics minus 9.5, 8.5. If we're playing the Bulls with the Hawks, you'll see something around Celtics minus 11.5. I bet for a first round playoff game, which is crazy. All right. Well, moving on from them, we got the other team in there. We got the Bruins, who still have 2 more games left to go in their season. We got one today. Wait. Do we only have one more? No, yeah, 2 more. Okay.
No.
We have 2 more back to back. We got at Washington tonight. We can kill their season, put a nail in the coffin and get them out of the playoff race with a win, I believe. And then we have Ottawa tomorrow. That game won't mean anything. Although I mean we could win the East with it.
We could win. So if the Rangers lose,
Rangers play Ottawa tonight.
So if they lose and then we win both,
we win out. Yeah, we get 115 points.
Yep.
Carolina can't catch up to us. They have 1 more game to play. Toronto can't catch up to us. Yeah, so it's really, man, are we going to do this again? I mean, who else could get this President's Cup? We would end at.
Oh, let's look at the.
We would end at 115. Yeah, it's the Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they win, they would be at 114. They play the Blues on Wednesday.
And that could be a
And
lot.
that's it. And the Canucks, well, the Canucks have 2 more, 110.
But they're at
113. Yeah, oh my God, how the fuck does this happen again? We really have another shot at back-to-back President's Cup trophies. And quite frankly, we might do it.
Yeah.
Because I think we beat Washington today. Or maybe we don't. Like, we're already in. I don't think we're going to sit, guys, because this race with Florida is still so tight for the Atlantic 1 seed. We could win both these games. Ottawa might just give it up tomorrow. Wait, so even if we lose in overtime tonight and win against the Senators tomorrow, we would still get the 1 seed, or we'd still get the President's Cup. Or no, I think, is that the only way? That would be the only way that Dallas could get it then. If they were to win Wednesday 114, that would give us 1. Yeah, that'd give us 113.
Yep.
Rangers with a win would be at 115. No, Dallas still can't get up there. No, so we're doing all this math just to bring it back down to the fact that the Bruins can.
We need the Rangers. We need the Rangers to win tonight.
Yeah, but we can still win.
Oh, and then we end up tying. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, if we tie, they get it, right?
Yeah. If we tie, because we'd have 4 points.
Oh, no, I'm saying if we tie with them.
Oh.
If we win these next 2 games and they win tonight, we'd both be at 115. Do they have the tiebreaker for the 1 seed? Probably. Right? I don't know what the tiebreaker is.
I don't know what the tiebreaker is.
If it's goal differential, they're up by 2 right now. If it's wins, I mean, they're up by 7 there. So that would be it. I don't know. Let me look that up here, actually. Tiebreaker scenario.
Well, while you're doing that, we ended up watching the game against Pittsburgh and put them out of their playoff hopes, probably.
Yep.
And then we can kill Washington tonight, their playoff hopes. What I absolutely love. Oh,
if 2 or more teams are tied in points at the end of the regular season, here are the tiebreakers. Number 1 regulation wins. So yes,
okay.
The Rangers, if they win tonight, and even if we win out, they will have it. That's fine then. Okay.
Then
I guess let's go Rangers tonight. I don't want the President's Cup. We've talked about this for weeks on this podcast.
So here's a cool stat. So we were all worried going in the loss of Bergeron and Krejci. And how were we going to what centers are going to be able to end up taking over and leading that team? I mean, they ended up with last year in a record-setting year 114 points. combined. Did you know that Charlie
Was it actually
114 points?
only 114?
Yeah.
We could beat that this year.
No. I'm talking Krejci and Bergeron combined for 100.
Okay. I thought you were talking about like the
points.
team. I was like, how the fuck does that work?
No. They combined for 114 points. So we're worried about, and yeah, everyone wrote us off. You're losing Krejci and Bergeron. You didn't make any impressive moves to fill that slot. Those two centers, number 1 and number 2 line centermen. Did you know that Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha have 116 combined points?
That's awesome.
They're outpacing Krejci and Bergeron. Charlie Coyle awesome. Has had a year that he's never had. And Pavel Zacha 20 goals 2 years in a row, 20 plus goals, we'll say, 2 years in a row with the Bruins, and never did that before.
Man, he is very quietly making a run after this year for my favorite player on this team.
Yeah.
He has been phenomenal for this team this year. And I have no reason to believe it's going to cool down in the playoffs or anything. I think like he is legitimately taking that step up this year to he's no longer a role player. Like the role that he plays in this offense makes him a star.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, he's not a superstar, but what he does in this offense, he is a star player in the NHL.
So I think that goes to, and again, something like another sport with team, just having players understand where they're going to be out on the field, soccer wise. Okay, on the pitch, where can you go? Obviously, soccer or hockey has that. If you have that just sixth sense connection with your line mates, and having Pavel Zacha and Pastrnak, 2 Czechs, just understand each other. Right now, I love the fact that we can roll out with Pat Maroon coming back in, although I don't know if you saw any of that. He looked, and understandably, but he looked a little lost out there at times, I thought, to begin with. A little slow, but yet putting him on the line with Pastrnak and Zacha, being that power forward type, that gutty, get into the corners, try and grab that. He ran into Pastrnak at one point playing, but yet now you end up throwing DeBrusk. Where does he play? He can play in the third line, even as well. And he has had a not as impressive year previously with points and goals and stuff, but now you can just play him 1-3 and just everyone is just, we could be 3 lines deep right now going in.
Yeah, which is good.
Or you can end up interchanging them and have, Frederick and just a speedy, checking third line and putting DeBrusk up on one with Marchand and Charlie Coyle. I mean, it's impressive how Jim Montgomery can play this lineup now whatever way he wants to.
Yeah, and not only not only is it that it's good that we're deep, I think we're coming into this playoffs relatively healthy as well as deep, where you look at a team like, I know we hate them, but the Florida Panthers last year, they were incredibly deep. They had injury concerns all throughout the year. They were very hurt throughout the playoffs too, but they just found a way, throughout all those lines to make it all the way to the Stanley Cup there. So now you got a team that looks almost as deep as them last year with nowhere near as many injury concerns. And a team that also swept the Panthers this year in the regular season.
Yeah.
So
I think the only question I have, and this might probably sound weird, but because we've talked about this, the best 1-2 tandem, one A and one B goalies, but Allmark is probably my only question mark.
I don't know if I have a question mark on him. I trust him. I still trust Allmark in any given situation. I'll say, as much as I love Swayman, I've seen some games this year in which I'm like, come on, man, we know you're better than that. Giving up.
Oh yeah,
3 or 4, and it's like what are we doing? I know we can stick around because I know we have the offensive firepower too, but we shouldn't be letting the fucking Ottawa Senators stick around with us for 2 periods. Stuff like that. But I think once we get into the playoffs, you really hunker down. You give Swayman. I feel like if we go all 7 in any of these series, like we've talked about this already this year, we really need to do a good job at splitting up those goalies. I don't want another 5-2 situation. As much as I love Swayman, you go 4-3. You don't overwork Swayman early. You split every series 4-3 if you need to. If you need to go 7, and you give Swayman every game 7, or if it's just looking like he's just not having it that series, then you give it to Allmark.
Agreed. I don't know. It's interesting, and you make a great point about some of the soft goals that he's given up. I think Swayman's kind of flaky, if you will. Just sitting and watching him smile, when he's even on the bench or some of the plays.
Somebody rips the shot. He's like, oh, fuck, I was supposed to guess that. I'm in the game.
He just seems a little...
He's just a goofball.
Goofball, yeah. But I think... And that brings, I think, the kidness out of Allmark. And yet, the two of them just are the best of friends. It is going to be really hard this offseason to see one of them go. Yeah. Most likely Allmark.
Yeah, I agree. But hopefully we can send him on his way with a cup.
With a cup.
We'll quick recap this last week. So like you said, Saturday played the Penguins. That was a 6-4 win. Lost to the Hurricanes 4-1 on Tuesday. If you listen to this podcast, we literally said that would happen. We knew that would happen considering we had just beaten the Hurricanes the Thursday before. And then last Saturday, oh no, that doesn't matter. We only had the 2 games because we talked about the Panthers game. So we got Capitals tonight. Think we win that. Think we crush their dreams, crush the whole season, crush their hopes. And then we got the Senators tomorrow. Game doesn't mean anything. Whatever. We can win it. We can lose it. I think we'll win it.
I think we'll win it.
Yeah. And I think we'll tie with the Rangers for the 1 seed. So that leads us to playoff matchups.
Okay.
The current bracket right now, and like I said, if we stick to where we're at and the Rangers don't lose tonight, this will stay. Rangers will get the Lightning at the wild card 1 spot. We would get the Capitals right now. However, we know we are going to knock the Capitals out tonight. So that puts Capitals are at 87 points, 38, 31, 11. Detroit Red Wings, 39, 32, and 9, 87 points. Philadelphia Flyers, 38, 32, and 11, 87 points. Penguins, 37, 31, and 12, 86 points. This is a race for the playoffs right now, Ben. I think personally, if I can look ahead, actually, that's what I want to do. I want to look ahead at who these guys are playing. So Washington plays us. We've got, who else is playing tonight? I don't think Detroit plays Montreal. Easy win for them. Pittsburgh plays Nashville in Pittsburgh. That's going to be a tight one. They have to win it to stay in it.
They have to.
But I could see Washington and Pittsburgh getting eliminated tonight, which would leave Detroit in that 2 seed, along with Flyers still alive. And then Flyers play, what do you know? Washington plays at Philadelphia on Tuesday. Detroit plays at Montreal back-to-back on Tuesday. So if they just beat Montreal twice, they're in there. They got such an easy run there. If Washington were to beat Philadelphia, even if they lose tonight, could they still... I mean, that put them at 90 points. If the Red Wings win too, though, you can't... They've got it. If they sweep Montreal here. And then, who's the other one? Pittsburgh. I don't know. I don't see a situation how Pittsburgh would have to beat Nashville tonight, and then on Wednesday go into New York and beat the Islanders, who, oh shit, currently are still also running for a playoff spot. They have 90 points. They're in the 3 spot in the Metro Division. So this is a crazy, crazy stuff that we got going on in the East. The West is all done, so that's good, nice and easy. Who out of just the wild card group of teams, Detroit, Washington, Pittsburgh, Philly, do you think you would like to see the most?
Detroit, Washington, Philly.
Detroit, Washington, Pittsburgh, Philly.
I would probably like to see Philadelphia.
Okay. I think I would like to see Washington. I think they're the worst out of the 4 teams. I really do. I think we sweep Washington. I think we probably 4-1 Pittsburgh. I think we 4-2 Philly. And I really don't want to see Detroit. I think Detroit is a very, very scary wild card team. And I don't want to really say it and put it out there, but man, that team, they could get hot. And we've talked about it this year when they beat us on the podcast at weekends after. That team can put up 6 in a blink of an eye, and you don't know what to do. Offensively, if they are moving, they are good. Defensively, they're not the greatest, but they will go into this playoff series with the idea of let's just beat you by outscoring you. Yeah. And I don't want to get into a playoff matchup like that.
I mean, I agree with the fact that with the Capitals, I mean, obviously you're one star player only, and obviously we can then hopefully look to shut down Ovechkin, but the puck is always going to try and get to him on some slap shots. So I'm a little worried, is he at the right spot? Does it get in? But yet, can he sustain, though, a playoff run? Because he's going to be your only guy. So, yeah, I do agree with that. I think Philadelphia's just been up and down. Injuries, I think they're currently under with some injuries. So, yeah. And a goal differential of -25 for Philadelphia.
True. I'm looking at this here through moneypuck.com. These are just kind of predictions and playoff odds for these teams. So right now, it has it 33.8% for Detroit, 29.4% for Washington, 23.7% for Pittsburgh, 18% for Philly. If Detroit wins the next game, it moves up to around 51 to 52%. If Washington wins the next game in regulation, moves up to about 59%. In OT, it's 36%. Pittsburgh, if they win this next game, up to 41 to 42%. It does say, however, if Detroit or Pittsburgh or Philly, any of those 3 teams, if they lose the next game in regulation, they all have a 0% chance to make the playoffs. However, with Washington, it says, even if they lose this next game in regulation, so this is to us tonight, they still have a 10% chance to make the playoffs. It must, I don't know how that works. Yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting. Dude, you look at -25 for the Philly, though. I mean, Capitals have a -40 fucking goal.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely going to be tight. But hopefully we can just get Washington out there today. Hopefully Pittsburgh can be out of it today. Thank God that our team is good enough that we can just kind of sit back and not worry about this last 3-4 days like some of those other teams,
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, again, what our worry is: do we win out? Do the Rangers lose? Do we win the President's Cup? Is that stigma, that curse going to happen again? I don't. I think we're going to be better situated our first round
as opposed to last year. Yeah, because I think any of these teams are a true wild card team, a true number 8 seed, whereas last year, everybody and their mothers, that Florida team was not a true 8 seed. They were an 8 seed because they were injured for 40% of the year. Yeah. And they just scooted by. And then you get into the playoffs and they were able to pull these guys that were injured back into the lineup. And then we're facing what should have been a top 3 team in the East, but we get them in the first round. It was a shit draw. Exactly. This year, we're actually getting a true wild card team. And I feel a lot better about that.
Absolutely. So, got to get worried further as these playoffs go, because, when you look at the top, not really. I mean, you look point wise, obviously Toronto is at 102, but we know it's Toronto. You got to worry about them: Bruins, Panthers, Rangers, and Hurricanes. Those 4. That's it.
And we would play, in the second round, we'd play the winner right now of Panthers Maple Leafs. Tough. But I think that's fine, because then ideally Canes, Rangers move on then. And then so we get one of them out of there if we were to potentially play them in the conference finals. And I'd really hope it could be the Canes. Okay, I hope that they could beat the Rangers, but they never do in the playoffs. And I don't know. The Rangers are really good. And then the Rangers, I think we've said this a couple weeks ago. I think the Rangers would probably, at this point, take us in the conference finals. But if we play the Canes in the conference finals after beating potentially the Panthers, I could see us winning a series against the Canes. I could also see us pushing it to 7 with the Rangers. Yeah. And then at the same time, it's the NHL playoffs, and who fucking knows what happens. And I could see the Lightning taking the Rangers to 7 and beating them there too. It's weird. We saw it last year. We'll probably see it again. It's not going to go chalk. It's the NHL playoffs. We know this.
I'm just looking at Hurricanes are 8-2 the last 10 with a 5-game win streak. I mean, that's what they need right now. You need someone to just be on all cylinders right now, have that streak going. I would love, absolutely, it would be great. It'd be great watch, especially for us living here in North Carolina, to see these games. It would be great for the podcast because we got a number of friends that are diehard Hurricane fans, so we can have some conversation about those games and that playoff series. So,
and I want to be there if we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals against. I told Reese I think we're going to one of those games, and it's gonna be so pricey, but gotta see it. Gotta see it. All right, we've got 13 minutes. Let's run through this quick. Red Sox, so weak. We knew we would come back to down to earth eventually. We came into that week 7-3 against the O's. Got swept by the O's. We called that. We literally called that from the start of the season, guys. So if you don't think we know ball, shut the fuck up. And then we played the Angels. Lost
2 of 3.
Yes, we did 2 of 3. And we start off with the Guardians today. I was laughing a little bit earlier because I was like, why the hell is this game at 11:10? It's the Boston Marathon today.
It's Patriots Day.
That's awesome. What a great day to be able to do this podcast on. I've completely forgot about that. I'm sitting there. I'm like, every other MLB game's at like 6:00. Why the hell are we playing at 11? I don't care. This is great. I get day baseball to watch. Guardians though,
and the fun part for all you that are listening to us outside of the region that I grew up in. You were only there for a few years, but being Patriots Day, watching it on Nesson, you end up having the little box to finish up of the Boston Marathon. they always throw that little who are coming in and finishing.
Yeah.
So you always got that box in the bottom of the TV screen breaking away.
You think we'll still be able to see that watching Nesson today on the MLB TV?
Yeah, they'll put it probably
be on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the, I mean, yeah. So we just entered the podcast talking about incredible weekend events, and if you are a true Boston fan, sports fan, this is your freaking day.
This is the day.
You're getting shitty as we speak right now.
Yeah.
By the time that gets downloaded and people start listening to our friends in New England listening, you probably are already 6 deep by the time this is downloaded.
And you got a Red Sox game, you got a Bruins second to last game. Your Celtics are already the number 1 seed in the playoffs. They're chilling. Patriots are drafting a franchise quarterback in about 9 days. This is a great This is a great Patriots Day.
This is a great Patriots Day. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, well, we got the Guardians starting off with a 4-game series today. Goes through Thursday, and then I'm looking at the Guardians schedule. 4-game series, and then we got on Friday 3-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have been surprisingly good out of the NL Central so far to start the year. What you got? Give me a record prediction for this week. 7 games, 7 days. What we got?
4-3. 4-3.
4-3. I can
absolutely
do with that. I think
this is a split with the Guardians.
Yeah, I was about to say 2-2, and then actually I might. It depends on who's pitching, but if we get the front half of that Pirates rotation with the Jared Jones and shit like that, I could see us losing that series 1-2. I'll think optimistically here. I'll go 4-3, but I could see 3-4 this week. But that would still keep us, I think, right at 500. Oh, better. We're 9-7.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's all right. But it's the Sox today, right? It's got to be the Sox today on Patriots Day.
Oh,
I'm building a same game parlay as we speak. There's no way I'm rooting against the Sox today.
No, and then there was on FanDuel 30% profit boost on plus 400, and I did a parlay where Rafi's gonna hit a dinger. Jared Duran will get a hit. You got the Sox to win, and then Cutter Crawford, it had 4.5
K's
over under on K's, and I'm going over. I love me my Cutter Crawford.
His line, I think, has switched over to 5.5 now. I have it.
I'm glad I got it at 4.5.
Yeah,
yep.
I'm gonna put in an alt line at 4+ probably, and then along with some other stuff. But hit a nice little same game parlay with the boys last night for the Padres Dodgers game. Look to keep that going today. Let's go. Actually, here, let me just throw something together just for the sake of the pod and see if this can. I don't know if I'll play this necessarily, but if I were to, I'll go Cutter Crawford 4+ Ks. I'll go Red Sox first 5 innings money line. I'll go. Is Rafi playing today?
Oh crap! He's probably not.
Well, I mean, it has him. Let's see if it's got the projected like lineups. MLB starting lineups. They're not going to be out yet, but expected lineup. They expect him there.
Okay.
And let's go. I don't really want to. Oh, yeah. We got a righty. Dude, this guy might get torn up. This Guardians pitcher. Let's go Tristan Cashes for a hit. And Jared Duran for a hit. Plus 297. Oh, you need it plus 400, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, let's switch this up a little. No, that's not going to do. Let's go under also, maybe. I like attacking the under in Cutter Crawford games. Can I get an alternate? Alternate total runs. Perfect. Under 11.5. Oh, God. This is a 5-legger. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Crawford, 4+ strikeouts. Red Sox, first 5, money line. Cassius for a hit. O'Neill for a hit. Under 11.5. Alternate total runs. Brings you up to plus 561 with the profit boost, 729.
There we go.
There we go. Let's fucking get it. All right. Well, we went through a lot there, Dad. That was a lot more than I thought we would.
Again, this is just, guys, this is what we do. We were, before we got on, I know Hanson's got a hard out, and we were like, oh, this is going to be a quick one. Let's just talk. And before you know it, we've been on for
an hour and 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun because a great weekend of sports and a great week of sports that we have coming up. So glad to be able to give you our takes and talk a little Boston sports on this Patriots Day. And hope we come out with at least a Red Sox and a Bruins win today. That would make that would just be the cherry on top. Yeah.
That would be. I did it once before, not on Patriots Day, but I did once in my lifetime. I did probably a 1:00 Red Sox game, and then my dad and I followed it up with a Bruins game later that night.
That's awesome.
That was one of the highlights of sporting events that I did. That was and it was in the old Garden.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing I didn't even think of. It's the Boston parlay today. Parlay Sox money line, Bruins money line. Set it and forget it. Patriots Day, can't lose.
Can't lose. I got to throw that one in too.
This is not gambling. This is not gambling advice, but can't lose.
If you have a problem, there's an 800 number out there.
Yeah, Google it or something. I don't fucking know it. 1-800-GAMBLER. I do know it.
Yeah.
I haven't called it, but I do know it. Anyways, Dad, you got anything else before I wrap this up?
No. I was just gonna say, love you, son. Love you, Patriots Day.
Love you, Patriots Day. Love you, Dad. We will catch you guys next week for episode 16. Enjoy the week. Let's go Bees. Let's go Sox. Let's go C's. Catch y'all later.